Good afternoon, everybody. So we will be starting at 2:10 p.m. due to parking issues. Thank you.
Nightlife and Starscape. the start skates. Start skates. Okay, your start skates. Number 1.
Good afternoon. The commencement ceremony for Rock Canyon High School's class of 2022 will begin in just a few moments. Before we begin, we would like to remind you that today's ceremony is a joyous but formal event.
As we begin the ceremony in a few moments, please stand to welcome the class of 2022 and remain standing until the conclusion of the national anthem. remain standing and welcome the Rock Canyon Jag Choir to sing the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets had left the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Please be seated. Welcome to the graduation ceremony of Rock Canyon's class of 2022. As we stand here before you, we look back on 4 years of legacy we've all created together. Now, they may not have been the most traditional 4 years of high school, but they will be some of the years we will never forget.
We appreciate your presence as we celebrate this great milestone and welcome all family, friends, and those who have supported us throughout our wonderful high school journey. Enjoy these final moments, class of 2022. All our hard work and triumphs have led us to this day.
At this time, we would like to welcome our distinguished guests who will be participating in today's ceremony. As your name is called, please stand.
Deputy Superintendent Andy Abner.
General Counsel Mary Klemesh.
Learning Services Officer Matt Reynolds.
Executive Director of Schools John Gutierrez.
School Board Director Elizabeth Hanson.
School Board Director Susan Meek.
Interim Principal Megan Brown.
Assistant Principal Tom Brisky.
Assistant Principal Kevin Carey.
Assistant Principal Jeff Geary.
Assistant Principal Melissa Rosati.
Assistant Principal Mandy Zimmerman. We would also like to introduce our feeder principals and recognize the Rock Canyon students who attended these schools.
Would Buffalo Ridge Elementary Principal Jennifer Murdoch and seniors who attended Buffalo Ridge please stand?
Would Redstone Elementary Principal Amy Moyle and seniors who attended Redstone please stand?
Would Timber Trail Elementary Principal Michelle Radke and seniors who attended Timber Trail please stand?
Would Wildcat Mountain Elementary Principal Molly Milley and seniors who attended Wildcat Mountain please stand?
And would Rocky Heights Middle School Principal Christopher Cook and seniors who attended Rocky Heights please stand? We appreciate your help with today's ceremony.
Please welcome Krish Kumar to address the class.
With power comes great responsibility. Today, as you walk across the arena with pride, shake hands with the school's administrators, wave to your family and best friends, and hold your coveted diploma, you become empowered as a high school graduate. Although we will be joining the ranks of the 3.7 million seniors who will be graduating across the United States, there's something special about the 553 Jaguars that are graduating today. It's because we've gone through the unpredictable and the unexpected, such as undergoing not just one pandemic, but two. Remember hand, foot, and mouth? Gaining this superpower hasn't been easy. You spent countless nights and hours studying for those impossible chemistry exams, putting in that extra practice for that rival game against Vista, memorizing countless lines for your Newsies audition, and cramming for that math test about that cursed unit circle. Each and every single one of you has provided our school with something so special and memorable through these different memories. We've been so lucky to attend one of the best high schools in the state of Colorado, with teachers and administrators who have poured in their hearts to ensure that we have the most and best opportunities possible. At Rock Canyon, we've been afforded the opportunity to fail, grow, and succeed. Remember that first time you didn't get that score that you wanted on that challenging test, or didn't land that part that you wanted in your favorite activity or sport? In that moment, failure seemed painful. However, because of your tireless effort, you continued to work hard and eventually found yourself here at your graduation, which is the culmination of all your hard work and failures. You've become the successful singer, dancer, athlete, writer, engineer, and most importantly, overall Jaguar, because of the way Rock Canyon has allowed you to grow. It is with this new mindset that I challenge you to continue to take risks, embrace the discomfort of the world, and truly find ways to inspire change in those around you. The diploma you receive today means more than just a completion of 4 years of schooling, but rather it is a gateway to a wide number of doors and opportunities. In our world, we're often future-minded and are worried about what comes next. But based on the senior class that is here before me today, I have hope because I know that each and every single one of us possess a diverse set of talents that can truly inspire change in the world around us. Take a moment to reflect on how you've been able to come where you are today. We are truly so fortunate to be able to come together as a community to celebrate our accomplishments. Moments like Wish Week, where we came together to support our Wish kids, Michael, Dean, Fabian, and Cece, or coming back together as a class after the COVID-19 pandemic and shutdowns, have taught us the power of community. Now, it is up to us to go out into the world and spread this infectious power of the Jaguar community to wherever we may head next, which is marked by our grit and determination to do the impossible. So as you enjoy your 30 seconds of well-deserved glory on the Jumbotron, I ask you to reflect on your past hard work and accomplishments. However, today marks the start of a new future and journey. I challenge each and every single one of you to reflect on these past 4 years, your commitments and accomplishments, and truly figure out how you can make your diploma more than just a piece of paper. No one can take away the diploma you received today or the years of hard work you put in as a Jaguar. But now, it is your new responsibility to use your new power as a high school graduate to progress the communities around you and the world. Thank you.
Ripley Coop will now perform What a Wonderful World by Louis Armstrong.
See trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue and clouds of white, bright blessed days, dark sacred nights, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people going by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I hear babies cry, I watch them grow. They learn much more than I'll ever know, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I hear babies cry, I watch them grow. They learn much more than I'll ever know, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Oh, I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Thank you.
Please welcome Olivia Gallo to address the class.
When going through the hard times of high school, like rejection, fear, anxiety, pressure, and loss, we all repeatedly tried to pull ourselves out. We found that the only way we could do that was through the enlightenment of our perspective. These hard things could rock our world and completely shift our perspective. During our education as Jaguars, we have learned that the one thing that we can control is that perspective. Perspective in an art form is defined as a three-dimensional object being drawn on a two-dimensional surface from a particular point to give an impression of its measurements. When going through these hard times, we often asked ourselves, what if it wasn't me? What if I was a different student or a different friend looking in on my own life? What would I say? What would matter? What if I was that three-dimensional object? What impression would I give? When we step out of ourselves and imagine someone looking in, these big things seemed a lot smaller. They seemed less relevant to the big picture, meaningless in the long run. Looking back on these hard times, we would probably ask ourselves why we wasted so much time worrying about the future when all we can control is right now. Reflect back with me for a second to walking in the hallways, stuck in a traffic jam heading into the 5000s. Think about looking around. Think about what is going on with every person around you. Some could have been walking to an AP class, worried if the notes that they took were okay for that quiz they're most definitely going to take. Others could have been walking to a math class that they're just trying to pass for graduation credit. And some were running to fire science, where they would take that test, where they put their gear on really fast. That always seemed really intense. Reflecting on these moments makes us realize the one thing that we can control right now. All we can control is taking in those last precious moments with the people that we love, doing our absolute best to make our family and friends proud. Choosing to focus on the perspective of gratitude rather than the fear and anxiety of the future will set the tone for our hearts. Focusing on that perspective of gratitude makes me reflect back to the past as well. Reflecting back to memories that make me grateful leads me to one, Wish Week. I think of the assemblies, the restaurant dinners, the dodgeball. I think of the masses of students waiting to get their haircut and the joy in the faces of the student body when they see a friend with a new haircut. I think of the thankfulness for the time with the people that I love most and how all of our hearts absolutely broke when we lost our dear Michael. Reflecting on these memories that make us grateful highlights the highs and lows of our high school experience. Like when we were in the final games of our basketball season. We're at the Mountain Vista game, and the buzzer sounded, and the Canyon Crazies stormed the court. It was euphoric. But for many, that was one of their last nights at a basketball game as a senior. Setting the tone of our hearts to focus on gratitude will allow our future interactions to be full of love. When you come to meet your future, focusing on that perspective of gratitude in the present will allow you to create new intentional relationships and connections, all on the foundation of love. Every day when I left for school, my mom would yell the words, "Show love," at me, often out of a window or a car door, very loudly. And it's so funny because the phrase seems so simple, almost elementary. Probably because she started yelling it in elementary carpool. But showing love to someone is showing them that you care about them and you value them the way that they want to be loved and the way that they need to be loved. This is where perspective, gratitude, and love collide. The best way to combine these three is through knowing someone's love language. For some people, it is quality time. So the only way you can show love and spend quality time is by keeping perspective. It's recognizing that we have limited time left, so maybe we can take a night off of work to spend time with that friend that we care about. Lots of people value words of affirmation, So rather than spending 20 minutes on TikTok, you can reach out to a friend and tell them the things that you love about them. Reminisce on those Rock Canyon events that make you so grateful for your friendship. Other people value physical touch. So when a friend is crying, nervous about leaving for college, reach out and give them a hug. Other people value acts of service. So when a friend is packing up their room, cleaning out their house, ready to head out, maybe go over and help them out. Reminisce on the things about your friendship that you're really gonna miss. And last, but certainly not least, some people value small gifts. So something like a Brenda's cookie. Can we all please take a second and mourn Brenda's cookies our senior year? In the moment, that cookie might not have meant much to you, but it showed love to someone else. This upcoming season of our lives, the summer after our senior year, will be busy for many. But I urge you, focus on perspective. Staying in perspective will allow you to be grateful in the present and love others well. And while we won't be in school, the time suckers and the perspective shifters are still gonna come. Focus on perspective. Focus on gratitude. Focus on love. But you don't have much time left. The present is a gift. Cherish it. Thank you.
The JAG Choir will now perform On My Way from Brother Bear arranged by Rock Canyon 2019 graduate Jackson Moody.
Tell everybody I'm on my way, new friends and new places to see. With the skies of lead, yes, I'm on my way. There's nowhere else that I'd rather be. Oh, tell everybody I'm on my way, and I'm loving every step I take. With the sun beating down, yes, I'm on my way, and I can't keep this smile off my face. 'Cause there's nothing like seeing each other again, no matter what the distance between. And the stories that they tell will make you smile. Oh, it really lifts my heart. Tell everybody I'm on my way, new friends and new places to see. And to sleep under the stars, who could ask for more? With the moon keeping watch over me. Not the snow and not the rain can change my mind. The sun will come out, wait and see. And the feeling of the wind in your face can lift your heart. Oh, there's nowhere I would rather be. On my way now, well and truly. On my way now.
Tell everybody I'm on my way, and I just can't wait to be there. With blue skies ahead, yes, I'm on my way, and nothing but good times to share.
Tell everybody I'm on my way, and I'm loving every step I take. With the sun beating down, yes, I'm on my way, and I can't keep this smile off my face. Ooh, yes, I'm on my way.
Math teacher Tony Coy will now deliver his charge to the class of 2022.
Well, good afternoon, Jaguars. I'm going to start with the Academy Award portion of my speech. Now, rest easy, there will be no G.I. Jane 2 references. And I really hope, at least my face really hopes, that nobody in here today is named Will Smith. But I would like to thank you for the opportunity to be up here today. It is always an honor and a privilege to be selected by you all to give the charge to the graduating class of Rock Canyon High School. So the inspiration behind this talk actually came from a conversation that my brother was having with my daughter. And he looked at her and said, "Kathleen, I'm going to give you the best piece of advice that anyone will ever give you to maximize the success that you'll have in your life." Now, I'll give you that piece of advice in just a second. We continued our conversation and added a few more pieces of advice, and from that was born 4 pillars of success. 4 things that all of you can easily do to help set you apart from people in your future. Now, you're going to want to pay attention to these 4 pillars because there will be a quiz at the end. I know, I thought you guys thought you were done with quizzes for now. You're not. So without further ado, pillar number 1, be selfless. We live in a society that's a little bit selfish, and sometimes people are out to get the things that they think that they deserve. I'm going to challenge you guys to be different. Have the courage to be selfless. Martin Luther King is credited as quoting and saying, "Life's most urgent and persistent question should not be, what can others do for you, but rather, what can you do for others?" But be careful. Right? Make sure that your motive and your mindset are in the right place. Don't do things for others thinking, "I'll do that for you if," rather think, "I'll do that for you, period." Now, that's not to say that good things won't come your way as a result of your actions, but that shouldn't be the motivation behind why you do them. So be selfless. Pillar number 2, be personable. We spend a lot of time behind a screen, both small screens and big screens. Have the confidence to step out from behind that screen, look people in the eyes when you talk to them, shake their hand when you greet them. Instead of sending an email or a text, maybe walk down and talk to them in person. If that's not possible, pick up your phone, give them a call. That little device we have in our pockets or our purses, it does a whole lot more than just show TikTok videos or play Clash Royale. And I love a good hole smash. We got to get past that. Right? Some of you may be thinking, "Okay, boomer." It's true. But when talking to multiple people across multiple industries with a variety of ages, overwhelmingly, person-to-person communication was at the top or near the top of characteristics that they look for when they hire new employees. Pillar number 3, work hard. Have the strength to work hard every day. Don't just see the top of the mountain without seeing the difficult path that you're going to have to walk up to get there and the work that it's going to take to get you to the top. Work hard in everything that you do. And if you're unwilling to work hard, I got some bad news. Success, it's simply going to be something that your hardworking friends tell you about. Now, there comes a point in everyone's life where our natural ability ceases to be enough, and we actually have to work hard. For some of you, you may have already reached that point. For the rest of you, be patient. It's coming, right? Start working hard now to prepare yourself for that moment. Don't fall victim to the cancer of entitlement. Look, you're not owed anything in this world, but through your hard work, you will earn the great things that come your way. And finally, pillar number 4, and this is the piece of advice that my brother gave my daughter. Figure stuff out. And when you're given a job, have the persistence to figure something out. Figure out a solution on your own. If you have to ask for help, that's fine. Nothing wrong with that. But when you do, have a solution in mind that you've already thought about. If that solution's wrong and you fail, failure's fine too. A good friend of mine once said that authentic growth can only come from authentic failure. So when you fail, learn from it, grow from it, go back and try something else. Now, I say all of that with the caveat of you guys have already done some amazing things in your life and have experienced some incredible successes. You guys have done things that at your age I never dreamed about doing. But if you keep those 4 pillars in your life, you will continue to have incredible successes down the road. Now, I told you there was going to be a quiz. Rules of the quiz are simple. 4 pillars of success, 4 sections of seniors. I'm going to ask each section a question. First person who raises their hand and can correctly answer the question wins a gift card. All right. I'm pretty sure Mr. Brisky said Chick-fil-A for life. If it's not Chick-fil-A for life, make sure you see him and not me. All right, so we're going to start with you guys. Easy question. What was pillar number 3? Ooh, in the front, we got a quick hand. By the way, this is either going to go really well for me or this is going to hurt my soul. Work hard. Work hard. Congratulations, you just worked hard for a gift card. Nice work. Good job, Rhea. Let's come over here. Come over here. Come over here. Pillar number 2. Just kidding, this is 2. Be personal. Yeah, we'll take this. Good enough. Good enough. Good enough. Good enough. Nice work. Yeah, we'll go with you. Pillar number 4. Oh, look, you didn't even know what the question was going to be. You already had a hand up, my friend. Go on, I'm going to let you have it. Pillar number 4. Number 4. Pillar number 4. Now, pillar number 4. He done figured it out. My man figured it out. Now, where we gotta go? I want you. Every quiz has a trick question. Save that for you guys. Pillar number 1. Now, put your hands down. You don't even know what the question is yet. Pillar number 1 was be selfless. Now you're like, dang, I don't know what the answer is anymore. Who did I quote when I talked about being selfless? Nah, you got it. What you got? Martin Luther King Jr. Nice work. That went way better than I expected. I want to leave you guys with a saying that I've seen several times, probably because it's graduation season. But the saying goes, don't be sad that it's over. Be happy that it happened. The staff at Rock Canyon High School, we are sad because you're leaving. We are going to miss you guys, but we are happy that we've had the opportunity to be in, I shouldn't be out of breath right now. Good night. We're happy that we've had the opportunity to be in your lives for the last 4 years and to watch you grow into the amazing people that you become. We wish you nothing but the absolute best in everything that you do. We cannot wait to hear about the successes that you will have in your future. Congratulations on finally making it to graduation, and the best of luck. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Rachel, Kim, and Elena Song will now perform A Million Dreams by Benji Pasek and Justin Paul, arranged by Allison Gillies.
It is an honor and a pleasure to be introducing our next speaker. Ms. Brown has been an integral part to our school for the past 16 years. As a leader who stepped into a position during times of precariousness, she kept our Rock Canyon community running and thriving. She helped us return to a sense of normalcy, and she fearlessly led us students down a path filled with success and Jaguar pride. Please give a warm welcome to the one and only Principal Megan Brown.
Hello, welcome. I get the Britney Spears mic here because I'm the slacker that did not have my speech memorized. So, well, not to make this all about me, but let me tell you a wee bit about my year. First, I get to follow in the footsteps of the larger-than-life Mr. Abner for the year. But then, I get to come into graduation following not only Mr. Coy, but Mr. Coy giving away gift cards. So if I can do this, you guys can do anything. Good afternoon, and hello to everyone gathered here. On behalf of the faculty and staff of Rock Canyon, I would like to say welcome. I am honored to be here to celebrate the graduation of a truly remarkable class. Class of 2022, you made it. You have had a path to get to this point quite unlike any other class at Rock Canyon, and we are so very proud of each and every one of you. I want to begin by noting that today would not be possible without the people around you, literally the people sitting next to you on the floor here, but generally all of the people in the stands and beyond as well. Those who supported you, those who worried about you, those who put money in your bank account, those friends and family members who always knew you could do this, as well as so much more. Graduates, I hope you will find some time today to thank those who have played a part and will undoubtedly play a role in your next chapter as well. I also want to note that today we remember and keep in our hearts all those in our immediate school family and extended community that we have lost, and those that cannot be or are not with us today. I hope you will also find some time to remember them in your own thoughts. Rock Canyon graduates, as I sat down to reflect on the unique high school experiences you have had over the past 4 years and the school that you have led for this past year, I kept coming back to one event that has probably done more to define your character than anything else. So, I want everyone here to close their eyes. That's right, everybody. Right now, I'll do it too. Take a deep breath and time travel back with me to March 2020. I know, right? You're sophomores. Some of you may have been driving and were sneaking into a parking space on campus in the far, far corner where you were hoping JT wouldn't get to. You're getting ready for spring break, which we had just found out was going to be a 2-week spring break, so we could all get over this thing, whatever it was. And then boom, we get the announcement. You know the one. And just like that, everything had changed, and we were all finishing the school year from our homes, logging on, or not, to Google Meets, where we were supposed to continue to learn while trying to comprehend what exactly was happening. The world had flipped upside down. Now let's come back to the present. In a million years, could you ever have imagined that high school, that life could be so completely turned inside out? I'm willing to bet not. I certainly didn't. But it's precisely our collective ability to imagine that, in a way, has us gathered here to celebrate you, an extraordinary group of high school seniors who have accomplished amazing feats and have exciting futures, not despite the pandemic, but maybe in a way because of the pandemic, because of an unimaginable obstacle that may have put us down for a while, but certainly didn't put you out. You imagined a new way to live, to learn, to have fun, to survive, at first because the world forced you to, but eventually because we can imagine, and we can adapt. You're the only group at our school today that has experienced a complete normal high school, but you were our little freshmen at the time. Your sophomore year brought us something no one could have imagined, and coming back this year, we relied on you almost immediately, in masks and with no gym, to lead this giant student body out of whatever the last 2 years was and into a future where we remain an awesome school that continues to lead with the best student section in the state. You did that. You also found a way to jump right back into the rigorous academic demands of this school and performed in the classroom in new and remarkable ways that continue to set this school apart. The talent and tenacity to get through the unimaginable and reach this milestone. And why is that? How did you do that? It hasn't been all smooth sailing, to be sure. Of course, we had challenges, many of which may continue, but they didn't knock you out. To identify why and how, I think we really need look no further than all of the great speakers we've heard during these graduation events. At the Moving Up Assembly, Ella and Maddie and Mr. Newman started our week of celebrations and reminded us of the power of home, of community, of fostering and relying on the relationships around you. At the senior celebration, Savannah talked about the traits of a jaguar that are in each and every one of you: strength, fortitude, independence, and leadership. Emily reminded us about the importance of showing up, of being present for our commitments and for each other every day. Ria and Amira reminded us sometimes it's enough just to survive, to not be too hard on ourselves, and that it's always a good idea to dance to Earth, Wind, and Fire. Also that night, Mr. Hommel spoke of the power of making yourself vulnerable and the need to keep pushing through the challenges and the dark times, and the importance of cooking bacon correctly. At Honors Night last night, both Liza and Frankie talked about change, about embracing the change that life brings us and being the change to make the world better. Olivia spoke just now about the power of perspective, gratitude, but most importantly, love. And Chris challenges us to use this culminating event and diploma to do good, to go forth and make an impact on the world around you. All great messages, every single one of them, and they all came from you, this class, and members of the Jaguar community. So, you're already displaying the traits that have led this school and made each of you successful up to this point. Traits that will make you now take with you into your future: imagination, humility to grow through challenges and changes, tenacity, reliance on community, the importance of home wherever you make it, and love. In my heart of hearts, I hope you will always remember you have these capacities within you and that you will utilize them throughout your life. These qualities have defined this class and now set you on so many exciting paths that I want to acknowledge here. Firstly, I would like to acknowledge and honor the many members of the class of 2022 that have committed to serving in any branch of the military. If that is you, would you please rise? I would now also ask, stay standing, please. I would now ask anyone here today that serves or has served to please also rise to join our seniors. Anyone in the audience who has served or currently serves. We thank you all so much for your commitment to serve and to protect this great nation. Next, so many of you have reported plans to attend 2- or 4-year institutions that come August, Rock Canyon 2022 graduates will be forging your futures in 42 different states and 4 foreign countries, armed with over $20 million in scholarship offers. Again, you did this all too. Congratulations. Class of 2022, in the words of Amir and Ria the other night, you not only survived, but thrived. This school will not be the same without you. You have revived traditions, established new ones, set records, stepped into the role as role models for the younger classes, all the while planning your futures that put you on so many roads that go in so many different directions, but that all start at the corner of Monarch and MacArthur Ranch. You reminded us what it means to be a JAG. We wish you the absolute best for your future. We are so proud of you. We love you. We will miss you. May you find joy in everything that you do from this point forward. Congratulations. It's a great day to be a JAG. Have a great day and have a great life. At this time, I ask the staff of Rock Canyon High School to please join me and stand for the presentation of the class. And I ask Assistant Superintendent Abner to join me up here. Please welcome Mr. Abner. Mr. Abner, I hereby attest and confirm that the students before you have successfully completed the requirements set forth by the Douglas County School District Board of Education and are deserving of this recognition with the presentation of their high school diploma.
Thank you, Mrs. Brown. Thank you for your leadership, and thank you most of all for your friendship. You have done an amazing job leading our school, and I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Graduates, families, friends, it is a great day to be a Jaguar. I love you too. On behalf of the Douglas County School District, our Board of Education, it is my extreme honor, my pleasure to accept the class of 2022 from Rock Canyon High School. Go Jags!
Thank you. Our faculty will now come forward to read the names of our graduates, and Rocky Heights Principal Mr. Chris Cook and school board members Miss Elizabeth Hanson and Miss Susan Meek will assist me in presenting the diplomas.
Lily Kate Gillespie.
Jeffrey Clayton Matson.
Cameron Renee Kramer.
Luke Timothy Mukoda.
Rachel Young G. Kim.
Isabel Ann Acker.
Taylor Leah Adams.
Caitlin Christina Akins.
Tariq Amr Al-Bakri.
Madeline Harrison Alley.
Cole Robert Alvarado.
Tyler Daniel Amick.
Michael Don Anderson.
Sophia Rachel Appel.
Haley Bernice Arbuckle.
Caden Fisher Armbrecht.
Ryan Nicole Arnold.
Alexandra Joan Atkins.
Savannah Elizabeth Avery.
Jorge Antonio Baca Melendez.
Frederick Schaefer Bailey.
Eliza Bennett Balmer.
Berkeley Wren Barnett.
Jessica Michael Barrett.
Owen Michael Barrett.
Allison Shea Barrick.
Connor George Barton.
Karis Elizabeth Bayens.
Samuel Ryan Beckham.
Matthew Michael Belleville.
Elizabeth Tate Benson.
Ella Anais Marine Birch.
Taylor Ann Burben.
Kyle Joseph Bishop.
Miranda Aaliyah Boswell.
Lola Elena Bouchel.
Carmen Elizabeth Boyle.
Dylan Samuel Brands.
Tyler Jackson Branish.
Caden James Brester.
Connor Matthew Brock.
Flynn Nicholas Brown.
Gabrielle Alexis Uma Bukhari.
Isabella June Booman.
Croy Alexander Burney.
Lindsay Devin Bush.
Sarah Elizabeth Bushy.
Sophia Lynn Caldwell.
Noah Stephen Cam.
Taylor Lynn Carey.
Paige Ann Casanova.
Holden Nathaniel Casey.
Tyler Scott Coughlin.
Amanda Jean Cesaro.
Essa K. Chadwick.
Olivia Laree Chambers.
Jack Richard Chandler.
Nicholas Anthony Chandler.
Zach Allen Chapman.
Estelle Ann Chartrand.
Samuel Mays Chalk.
Margaret Rose Christensen.
Ty Wesley Clark.
Megan Michelle Clayson.
Nathan Edward Clowner.
Trevor David Clothier.
Taylor Victoria Kaufman.
Blythe K. Cohen.
Sophia Annabelle Connard.
Lily Antonia Corbetta.
Kevin David Corrado.
Grace Catherine Coveney.
Mila Grace Owen.
Konstantinos Panayotis Kritikos.
Charles Alexander Crockett.
Ty William Crockett.
Noel William Crowther.
John Collier Cuthbert.
Breck Abigail Dahlgren.
Grace Foley Dahlgren.
Carson John Daniels.
Kyle Henry Dawson.
Brendan Christopher Day.
Naomi Nicodemusen Deach.
Madison Rose Derrickson.
Bethany Ann Detweiler.
Lindsay Nicole Dewar.
Colby Joseph Dexter.
Owen Scott Dickinson.
Elena Fabienne Pauline Didier.
Ella Claire Dietz.
Ryan Francis Diggins.
Josephine Elena Disbrow.
Tegan Suzanne Dodd.
Alora Faith Dodrill.
Campbell Brooke Dockin.
Max Jason Donaldson.
Peyton William Dozois.
Erica Drew Dunn.
Jack Min Tin Duong.
Andrew Russell Duper.
Kylie Ann Duras.
Brenna Grace Dutcher.
Addison Jean Ekstrom.
Alona Nicole Ellison.
Benjamin James England.
Jamie Isabella Espy.
Madeline Louise Evans.
Helmsley Kate Farmer.
Matthew Neal Fink.
Karsten Joseph Fish.
Brianna Lindsay Fletcher.
Alexander Ellie Flores.
Sarah Nicole Flowers.
Molly Grace Forey.
Jordan Lee Forsyth.
Olivia Marie Fortin.
Leah Natalie Foster.
Kendall Reese Foxworth.
Colin Reed Gardner.
Grace Jean Gardner.
McLean David Garrison.
Riley Eloise Gamotes.
Karis Lynette Georgopoulos.
Alexander James Gerber.
Ryan Christopher Gerlitz.
Alex Joseph Gertzen.
Jack Avery Janetto.
Avery Elise Gibson.
Travis Trenton Glenn.
Kendall Leah Goldman.
Allison Blake Godel.
Brianna Jolie Goodman.
Aria Aspen Goodwin.
Adeline Belle Goujon.
Samantha Ryan Gore.
Aaron Matthew Gramke.
Carolina Maria Graves.
Alexander David Gray.
Shrivali Vaibu Guha.
Gracie Lila Gunther.
Yara Esperance Haddad.
Austin Bradford Hall.
Emma Grace Hamilton.
Morgan Mackenzie Ham. Good job.
William Drew Hanna.
Lily Catherine Leo Hansen.
Madeline May Harris.
Kelly Ann Hardigan.
Taya Margaret Hastings.
Naomi Elaine Hawkins.
Liam Craig Hay.
Robert Thomas Head.
Zoe Taylor Henningsen.
Wendy Abigail Hernandez Ayala.
Caleb John Herskovitz.
Mason Vincent Hibbett.
Linnea Ray Hickman.
Caitlin Elizabeth Hicks.
Savannah Faye Hilgendorf.
Rylan Christopher Hinman Egender.
Hayden Robert Hitchler.
Eleanor Ruth Hopper.
Caitlin Maria Zenab Hopkins.
Austin Casey Hostetler.
Aiden Gutierrez Hughes.
Kiara Camila Hunglinger.
Richard Alexander Hurtado.
Hayden Zachariah Hutchins.
Tara Lynn Huxley.
John Cameron Igo.
Charles John Ingham.
Sydney Rachel Jacobs.
Bailey Nicole Januzzi.
Chloe Maud Jarrett.
Keegan Michael Jenkins.
William Scott Jenkins.
Caden Paul Jensen.
Darby Rain Jester.
Zane Gabriel Johnson.
Jack Riley Jungers.
Noah James Cable.
Kaylee May Kadlicek.
Dylan Jeffrey Kahn.
Emma Eve Kallickstein.
Mia Keller Bowker.
Jared Ethan Kennelly.
Darcy Angelique Kessler.
Aaliyah Joe Kikumoto.
Brady Dylan Kilponen.
Isaac Min Jun Kim.
Nicholas Huyen Kim.
Isabella Lauren Kimsey.
Carolyn Darcy Kimsey.
Emily Ann King.
Gary Tobias Kirschke.
Andrew Joseph Kitchen.
Paul Aiden Klakinas.
Alexander Kai Wei Ko.
McKenna Ann Koenig.
Ashton Michael Cole.
Vaibhav Venkat Koneru.
Emma LaRue Caressel.
Tiffany Anna Leahy.
Riley Marie Lampkin.
Piper Scout Landon.
Brooke Elizabeth Lang.
Theodore Ellis Larpeder.
Alan Scott Larson.
Shia Rose LeBauer.
Peter Jacob Leensvart.
Carter Rylan Lehman.
Mary Catherine Lenart.
Carson Cole Lewis.
Ethan Charles Lewis.
Isabella Mary Lewis.
Kiara Claire Aubrey Demelathis Lim.
Kennedy Ann Lynn.
Jonathan Caleb Littleton.
Ryan Andrew Livingston.
Owen Murray Laughlin.
Sean C. Ann Liu.
Sydney Abigail Louis.
Connor Edward Lutman.
Macy May Lynch.
Thomas Ronald Madigan.
Shloka Subha Madreddy.
Emma Noel Mangers.
Declan Michael Mannion.
Josie Louise Manning.
Jai Mao.
Amber Alyssa Marquez.
Cole Stark Martin.
Jake Campbell Martin.
Colton Matthew Martinez.
Isaac Nicholas Mason.
Julia Elizabeth May.
Ryan Kelty May.
Kayla Lynn McCabe.
Connor Scott McCarthy.
Madison Elizabeth McComas.
Molly Marie McCoy.
Abigail Grace McFarland.
Colin Michael McGeary.
Sophia Allison McHenry.
Donovan Sean McMullen.
Kylie Autumn McQuillan.
Mary Catherine Mead.
Jackson Walker Meadows.
Avery Rush Meggs.
Luke George Melendi.
Patrick Riley Mendoza.
Allison Mackenzie Sky Merritt.
Camden Peter Messenger.
Kendall Rylan Meyer.
Maria Jose Mesa Perez.
Brianna Aaron Miller.
Aiden Maxwell Lindley.
Cole Keith Miller.
Jack Pierce Mandel.
Deviancy Micra.
Emmett Michael Mazanin.
Reagan Alexis Moore.
Braden Charles Morrison.
Jack Strand Mosier.
Jacob James Moses.
Abigail Jane Mullen.
Charlotte Vaughn Mulstay.
Reese Avery Munoz.
Aiden Robert Murdoch.
Lilia Grace Murphy.
Nandon Murgason.
Jana Emily Myers.
Braden Robert Nays.
Matthew John Naherney.
Jacob Frederick Neibauer.
Elliot Ash Nelson.
Grace Annabelle Nelson.
Caitlin Christine Nicholson.
Ian O.
Olivia Christine Olt.
Joshua Oliver.
Carter Francis Olson.
Lucas Bakari Oluoch.
Colin James Roman Overbaugh.
Liliana Marie Martinez Padilla.
William Carl Polka.
Ashley Nicole Parker.
Michaela Autumn Pauley.
Kira Alyssa Peck.
Annie Dylan Pecoraro.
Sophia Antonia Persicidi.
Tyler Mitchell Peterson.
Bryce Stanton Pettygrove.
Isabella Maria Pettyjohn.
Carter William Pollock.
Luke Leon Portugal.
Matthew Isaiah Prestia.
Aaron Michael Prey.
Claire Isabella Price.
Lily Madeline Price.
Sebastian Luke Pritchett.
Brennan Lyle Pritzel.
Michaela Danielle Prop.
Alexa Soli Leona Puja.
Michael Salvador Quintana.
Michaela Marie Quist.
Alexander Ryan Radetsky.
Catherine Anna Ralph.
Tanvi Kaneo Rami.
Oscar Ramirez.
Luke Joseph Ramsey.
Ryan Eric Rank.
Brody Shea Raridan.
Brooks Walker Rathbun.
Avant Rome Renteria Vigil.
Brianna Elizabeth Rickman.
Brianna Renee Rickman.
Joshua Gabrielle Rivera.
Michael Alvin Rockow.
Alexander Brendan Roshenko.
Samuel David Ralston.
Rojan Atria Rusbe.
Katerina Michelle Rosabal.
David William Rosenberry.
Amelia Summer Darkins Rutch.
Joshua Stephen Sapienza.
Melanie Maureen Scanlon.
Gannon Malcolm Schaefer.
Riley Logan Shaw.
Christopher Lee Schlesinger.
Caitlin Julia Schmidt.
Isabella D. Schneider.
Lauren Elise Schneiderman.
Jacob Patrick Scott.
James Macias Sheffield.
Emma Jane Sheldon.
Owen Jack Shepard.
Cole Williams Short.
Nicole Alexandra Shoup.
Vincenzo Anthony Silversto.
Wow!
Maximilian Charles Slavin.
Justin Riley Slocum.
Lindsay Smart.
Kira Nicole Smith.
Matthew Jordan Taylor Smith.
Nathan Stephen Smith.
Nathan Andrew Reyes So.
Ella Sayona Song.
Evan Jonathan Sonnen.
Cameron Lane Spires.
Cooper Dale Stanley.
Alicia Hope Stively.
Joseph William Stowes.
Jacob Ryan Stoner.
Aiden Allen Stout.
Arian Samir Survey.
Andrew Joseph Satula.
Max Justin Tanaka.
Parker Morgan Teague.
Weston Merrill Feelander.
Gavin Michael Thomas.
Yarick Spence.
Michael Thomas Thompson.
Caden Campbell Tisdale.
Brock Robert Topping.
Ella Grace Torno.
Riley Dale Trask.
Alexander Paul Tufto.
Sophia Joy Van Natter.
Aspen Isabella Van Ramshorst.
Colin Reed Venable.
Macy Grace Versere.
Catherine Grace Vick.
Sheishen Wang.
Reagan James Wangler.
Taylor Michelle Woskeritz.
Joelle Elizabeth Webb.
Thomas Trey Michael Weber.
Sydney Ray Welch.
Dylan James Wellman.
Joanna Wendy Michelle Werner.
Abram Thomas West.
Joshua Samuel Wieberdink.
Drew Rutledge Weist.
Cade Mitchell Williams.
Megan Eliza Williams.
Haley Jean Williamson.
Andrew Kilborn Woodring.
Kyle Scott Woods.
Ava Catherine Wright.
Ethan Samuel Wright.
Hillary Amwakawa Yaboa Akasa.
Taylor Ann Zebold.
Daniel Robert Zimmerly.
Autumn Elizabeth Zuckermandel. Liam Thomas Hohenstein.
Vison Shrestha.
Brecken Rogers.
Charisma Winka E. Leung.
Bridget Mary Spath.
Ellie Samantha Higashi.
Jacob Tyson Francis Fair.
David Wellwood Deckerman.
Andrew Ryan Koenig.
Addison Gail Whitney.
Emma Marie Weiss.
Brad Jones.
Ved Agrawal.
Juliana Sophia DeBow.
Molly Ann Clinton.
Regan Marie Claggett.
Colton Hall Dreyfus.
Justin Christopher Edel.
Katrina Da Lan Pham.
Anna Michelle Fleming.
Genevieve Ann Levine.
Jared Brian Angerman.
Austin Kennedy Cordereras.
Rory Aileen Smith.
Brooke Lillian Betcher.
Elise Claire Barton.
Luke Daniel Miller.
Aaliyah Noel Howell.
Preston James Shaw.
Zachary Maxwell Lipfield.
Campbell Elise Coddington.
Brooke McKenna Farrell.
Natasha McCooey.
Elizabeth Christine Hupka.
Sienna Renee Ferguson.
Charles John Studi.
Riwa Raizada.
McKenna Lee Sims.
Emma Madeline Narlinger.
Joshua Solomon Letterman.
Calvin Burke Nickerson.
Ian Luke Chu.
Ava Monet Brody.
Sophia Gail Kramer.
Jersey Loren Dick.
Sarah Lucia Ridlin.
Shay Elliott Finkel.
Ripley Lauren Coop.
Zane Grayson Elwood.
Vanessa Maria Hubing.
Kinley Faith Hartz.
Marin Lee Fuller.
Jamie Ella Sloan.
Nicholas Santino Bagani.
Cameron Thomas Maynor.
Corinne Paige Stordahl.
Colin Patrick Creedon.
Lauren Christina Dos Santos.
Kaylee Elizabeth Nolte.
Sienna Briette Moran.
Megan Elizabeth Reuter.
Annabelle Corinne Martin.
Kennedy Paige Johnston.
Kylie Ann Salaji.
Dexter Conlon Winger.
Michael Aguilar Merkel.
Macy Madison Fallon.
Sophia Dakota Dempsey.
Emily Rose Perry.
Anki Huang.
Chloe Lee-Run Novak.
Sophia Renee Phillips.
Rachel Deepak Patel.
Jordan Riley Searwar.
Devin David Morris.
Olivia Rose Gallo.
Ella Rose Miller.
Twishi Yendamuri.
Cassidy Nicole Dobler.
Dylan K. Greer.
Claudia Mar Swicky.
Kelsey Elizabeth Buffington.
Anna Helene Stevens.
Carter Blake Spielman.
Aaron Agrafajo Levy.
Madison Norma Fryer.
Jaden Anaya McGowan.
Blake Riley Sullivan.
Emerson Jane McQueen.
Julia Jean McDonald.
Khadija Loel Sal.
Katie Lynn Fleming.
Kaylee Ann Sprangle.
Taylor Bryn Campbell.
Ian Kosai Wheelock.
William Nicholas Vasilis.
Sadie Kate Rowe.
Sabrina Rizwan Tour.
Roshni Nandi.
Nishi Veer.
Mahika Anand.
Kelly Ha.
Katina Grace Barris.
Megan Vivek Nagudkur.
Alessandra Louise Basil.
Shweta Suresh.
Andrew Wang.
Haley Maureen Van Auken.
Amanda Marie Birmingham.
Sarah Grace Black.
Kira Nicole Zizzo.
Mitchell Thomas Cabina.
Joshua Robert Rugi.
Liza K. McConaughey.
Aubrey Elise Dustin.
Grace Elizabeth Derricott Vaughn.
Isabella Rose Wheeler.
Kate Sarah Cheyenne.
Kristen Ava Remley.
Garant Thompson III.
Annie Beth Benson.
Ayan Lael Vida.
Sarah Elizabeth Kendall.
Kyle Robert Maxim.
Morgan Margaret Edstrom.
Yodekia Luschik.
Quinn Scott Pogge.
Katie Ann Bowdry.
Daniel Jacob Grammer.
Roger Oxford Hart III.
Elena Hee Young Song.
Thomas Dylan Ankner.
Brandon Edward Peart.
Ryan Junwoo Pak.
Ethan Randall Schnathorst.
Allison Rose Wilner.
Cy Tavner Sokolowski.
Leanna Jewel Navo.
Krish M. Kumar.
Frankie Joan Stroud.
Mandy Tewin Fleetwood.
Kinshuk Basu.
Amira Bionda Lufia Badrudin.
Nikila Sai Narayana.
Mason Christopher McGaffin.
Patrick Dobranowski.
Siddharth Srinivasan Srikamp.
Aspen Shi.
Rhea Jackson. Tia Esther Abraham.
Yushwan Cynthia Du Salutatorian.
Valedictorian Anthony Wang.
Please welcome Allison Wilner to address the class.
We've all heard that at the end of our high school career, we're supposed to do our share of reflecting. I guess it makes sense. After all, the past 12 years of our lives are finally coming to an end, and we are moving into a completely new chapter. It's only natural that we're going to look back on what was, what has been done, and what has changed. I know I've done my share of reflecting. Think back to the first day of freshman year. Can you remember it vividly? Picture standing outside of the Commons, the air ripe with anticipation of what was to come. The past was behind us. We could finally forget our awkward middle school phases and reinvent ourselves. Remember the show of school spirit by the Link leaders, the careful energy exhibited by us freshmen, and the sheer, overwhelming feeling you may have felt within your gut. Remember most of all the anxieties, the excitements, and the goals that you had swirling around in your head. What did you plan to do during high school? Take advantage of our 30 AP courses offered? Join our nationally recognized cheer and pom teams? Or give back to the community via clubs like Eco Club and Human Rights Club? Whatever you wanted to do, you could find an avenue for it at Rock Canyon. As freshman year continued, some of our goals were realized as we attended our Out of This World homecoming, maybe even with a special someone, survived our very first finals, tried out for sports, auditioned for what the bellhop saw in Newsies, and began to find the activities that truly interested us. Maybe, however, freshman year went differently than we anticipated on that first day. Maybe we didn't make the team, struggled through a class, or had a difficult time adjusting to the new high school environment. Nonetheless, we made it through, learned lessons, and came back next year, ready for the next challenge, of course, with new goals in mind. As we went into sophomore year, we felt that we had our feet planted more firmly underneath of us. We thought that we finally understood this whole high school thing, and we set our sights on what was to come. Any plans we made, though, were quickly thrown away in March of 2020 when our stability collapsed. Instead of practicing spring sports, we practiced our skills on Zoom. And instead of participating in memorable end-of-the-year celebrations like the Moving Up Assembly, we went on a lot of walks. Yet, we persevered. We learned more about ourselves. We spent time with those who are close to us. Maybe we even learned how to make whipped coffee and cloud bread, but ultimately, we rediscovered our passions and our hobbies. As the pandemic carried into junior year, fears of the ACT and beginning to figure out our futures were complicated by crazy schedule changes and online learning. Through the craziness, we appreciated getting to wake up 2 minutes before our first period class, enjoyed the extra cushion from the COVID curve, and learned how to participate in classes like performing arts over Zoom. Further, we were still able to participate in the events that characterize the Rock Canyon experience, such as Wish Week, where we were able to get Dean his puppy and participate in memorable celebrations such as the drive-in movie. Even though the year was chaotic and very different, the love of the Rock Canyon community remained constant, and we were able to persevere. Fast forward to this year, our last year, the quintessential year we had all planned out in our minds. Football games, dances, last games and performances, last competitions, last practices, the end of an era. As you began to figure out your future, maybe you ended up where you had always planned. Or maybe, and more likely, you're somewhere different, but you are here. But you grew and you learned from your circumstances. If high school has taught us anything other than how to analyze poetry and solve trig equations, it is that the world is unpredictable. As we look to tomorrow, we honestly have no idea what's going to happen. Reflecting on each year of high school, unexpected changes occurred. Yet we learned to embrace the chaos and grow. As you look forward to attending college or a trade school, entering the workforce, or joining the armed services, make plans, have dreams, work towards your goals. But remember, nothing is promised and nothing is guaranteed. But don't let this discourage you. Reflecting on each year of high school, even though unanticipated changes occurred, we ended up exactly where we need to be. Further, we learned the importance of embracing the constants in our lives. Those you love, your family, and your friends will always be there for your support. Your mentors, maybe a teacher or a coach, won't leave your side. And of course, you. You are strong, and you are brave. And even though you can't count on the reliability of the future, you can count on the reliability of yourself. Believe deeply in the power of you, and you will accomplish the unbelievable. Congratulations, class of 2022.
Class of 2022, please stand. Over the past 4 years, we have worked incredibly hard to get to where we are today. Each and every one of us has new experiences and adventures to look forward to, but we will never forget the memories made at Rock Canyon as we close the chapter of this book.
As we embark on our next path, always keep our senior quote, "It's a great day to be a JAG," in the back of your mind.
As we turn our tassels from right to left, we signify the end of this journey and the beginning of the rest of our lives. So join me, class of 2022, as we turn our tassels from right to left. Congratulations, class of 2022!
Let's go, Jaguars!